Hi everyone, welcome back to Level F Overview. This week we'll be covering lessons 69 through 72, and you will need worksheets 57 through 60 A or B, the 45-degree angle triangle, the 4-in-1 ruler, the Casio calculator, tangrams, the math card games book, and the corners deck, as well as the basic number cards deck. In lesson 69, we'll be solving triangle area problems. After the oral warm-ups, which review area formulas, have your child work on problem number 1. Your child should write out the formulas before getting started. And it is expected, just keep in mind that answers will vary a little bit from what is written in the book because our measurements aren't always accurate, right? So maybe your child is reading it to the 1/10 of an inch and is off a little bit. So it's okay if the answers aren't exact, but they should be close. As your child completes each problem, have him or her explain the solutions that they used, and then finish up with the in conclusion questions and play multiply and add game, which is P34. For lesson 70, there is a correction on the worksheet. So if your book was printed before January 7th, 2019, please go ahead and click on the link that I've included in the descriptions to make that correction before you get started. So after the oral warm-ups, we will be finding the area of trapezoids. Notice that the definition of a trapezoid is this. It's a quadrilateral with only one set of parallel lines. So that's what we're working with today. Before starting the worksheet, have your child build 4 different trapezoids from the tangram pieces. Now, each figure will only use 2 pieces, but you'll use a variety of pieces to actually form the trapezoid. It's just that each one only has 2 pieces, but they could be 2 different pieces. Have your child complete and discuss problem 1A, and I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate that to you.
Okay, so this is the trapezoid that the worksheet shows, and they say on the worksheet to divide the trapezoid into 2 different triangles, and that's already been done for your student. Notice that the width on top is 3 centimeters. The width on the bottom is 5 centimeters. I'm going to go ahead and use the tangram piece triangle here to draw the height of the triangle. Now notice that the height, this height, which happens to be 2 centimeters, is the same for this triangle. Okay, so they're both 2 centimeters. So what is the formula for the area of a triangle? The area of a triangle is A equals 1/2 width times height. And since we have 2 triangles, we're going to combine that. So the area of the trapezoid is going to be 1/2 times 5 times 2, the 5 centimeters here, and the 2 centimeters for the height, plus 1/2 times 3 for that width times the height, which is 2. So when we work all of that out, we get that the area of the trapezoid is 5 plus 3, which equals 8 centimeters squared. Notice how I labeled it. Children love to leave the labels off, and it's not a good habit because once they get to high school and college, they can actually lose points for not labeling their numbers correctly. So please encourage good labeling habits. Okay, so for problem 1B, work on the problem together, asking your student the questions that are in the book. This will guide the discovery. In problem 2, your child needs to build a parallelogram from 2 trapezoids. So let me go ahead and demonstrate how that's done. All right, so it doesn't matter if your child chooses to make 1 green figure and 1 yellow. I'm going to mix up the colors just so that you can really see clearly the distinction between the 2 pieces. So here I've made 1 trapezoid, and I'm going to be making another one here. And then the instructions say to flip this one around and line it up so that it makes a parallelogram. Okay, so two trapezoids fitted together by flipping one around makes a parallelogram.
Okay, so now your child can complete problems 3 and 4 independently, and then you can ask the in conclusion question and play multiply and add again. In lesson 71, we will find the areas of compound figures and learn how to use formulas to write the solutions. In the oral warm-ups, we review the formulas for the area of a rectangle, a triangle, and a trapezoid. Go ahead and have your child look at problem 1 on the worksheet and think about the different ways that it can be solved. How can we divide up that figure into figures that we know how to solve? After some thinking time, have your child share the possibilities. And if not all 3 ways are mentioned, go ahead and point out those possibilities that weren't mentioned. Walk your child through the thought process of breaking the solution up into 2 different formulas and then combining the solutions. Go ahead and have your child do problem number 1. Now, if your child chooses to divide up the figure as is given in the 3rd example, that answer is not in the book. You know, the worked out answer is not in the book, but it's fine if your child chooses to divide it up that way. The area is going to be the same, regardless of which way they divide it up. So it's fine that they can divide it up any one of those 3 ways. Have your child go on to problem number 2, and once you've checked those answers, have your child complete the worksheet. Ask the in conclusion questions, and if there's time, choose a favorite multiplication game. All right, lesson 72 is a review and game day. After the review sheet is completed and checked, play distribution corners, which is P37. So here are the lessons that you can go over if your child missed some of the questions on the review sheet. All right, if your child missed any of the oral questions, let's look at those first. If they missed number 1, go ahead and review lesson 4. If they missed number 2, review lesson 3. And if they missed number 3, review lesson 20 and 21. For the write the answers section, go ahead and review lesson 58 if they missed number 1, review lesson 37 if they missed number 2, and review lesson 9 if they missed number 3. In the do the calculations section, the addition problem could be reviewed in lesson 26. The subtraction problem could be reviewed in lesson 27. The multiplication problem in lesson 33, and the division problem in lesson 49. For the match the names to the formulas question, go ahead and review lessons 66 and 71. Find the area of the obtuse triangle can be reviewed in lesson 68. And the solve the problem question can be reviewed in lessons 56, 57, and 59. Okay, that's all for this week, and I hope to see you next time. Thanks, bye-bye.